If you see this guy come into the room, you know things just got serious.
Serious and disturbing case involving Ben Azoulay became public after his appearance on our podcast. The case, dating back to 2008, involves allegations of sexual assault against a minor. We were completely unaware of this information prior to recording with him. Let us be clear, the Wise Nuts podcast does not condone, excuse, or tolerate any form of sexual assault, violence, or predatory behavior, past or present. We expect honesty and transparency from every guest who comes on our platform, especially from someone who chose to speak publicly about manhood, marriage, and personal values, all while withholding such a critical part of his history. We call on Ben Azoulay to publicly address this matter, take accountability, and provide an explanation.
You're in a situation where you're an F student. Let me tell you something. You got a bright future, buddy.
He's the biggest liar on the internet. His name's Ben Azoulay, but he calls himself King Azoulay. And recently, YouTuber John Bravo exposed Ben Azoulay. You've probably heard a bunch of shit about him. I'm not getting into that. I'm gonna show you why John Bravo did this and what led up to this shit and why everybody thinks this dude is just a straight fucking clown.
5 legs on each side, I'm the last guy that you wanna cross. Wide body, feel like John Gotti, let's cut the fat. You keep on jumping, Jack, we keep them running.
So if you're not familiar with the King, he's a motivational figure with a presence on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. He claims to have generated over 500 million through various businesses. Most people knew he's full of shit. He has outlandish stories.
Every day I'm muscling, every day I'm muscling, every day I'm muscling. Muscle real hard, muscle real.
Love to see you and Tate in the ring.
I'd love to. I would break his head in half. He's a trained fighter, I'm a trained killer.
Who are you? Are you like some special forces guy or something?
I came to the US. I started eating at a Chinese restaurant. The owner was, for me, Master Shifu. When I used to go there, eventually the owner fell in love with me. And he said, that kid is special. And I would come to him, and before I would eat, he would move all of the tables, and he would teach me Kung Fu. And I would...
Wax on,
10
wax
years old. So I learned how to move with like Kung Fu, you know?
Yeah.
It was different.
You are one pathetic loser.
And I loved it. And that inspired me because I said, I'm gonna be like Bruce Lee. And I would come there every day and I would train after school. And then after I would have my beef and broccoli. And from there, when I got older, I said, I really wanna go and train with the Shaolin monks. First of all, they don't accept you. Today they do, by the way. You get paid to go there.
How did you get in?
You have to wait outside of the temple. When they let you in, they teach you things that are unbelievable.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
And for that reason, I've created a Telegram channel, the F Student Council, where I share secret knowledge.
The big question is, how did this guy gain so many followers? He seemed to pop up overnight with these crazy stories of being in counterterrorism, working for the Mafia at 15, dating 30-year-old women when he was 13, just crazy shit.
You think you flexing that I'm the final boss. 5 legs on each side, I'm the last guy that you wanna cross.
Of training my shins and my elbows and my knees to become indestructible, I went to train in China with some of the Shaolin monks, and they explained
Shit just got real.
I'm telling you, I used to be 13 years old. I used to date girls that were 30. I would tell them that my license was revoked, that they took impounded my car, and that when she would come sleep over, I'd say, shh, my roommates are sleeping.
You're just a woman with a small brain, with a brain a third the size of us.
That was what I would say, you know? It is what it is. I was 13, but I was built, and I was ready to just eat the world.
When you say built, you've always been built?
Always been built. Yeah. The last post I just posted, even when I was 8 years old, just jacked.
But why?
So it goes back to the time that my father was very difficult with me. And I
spread that around.
From there, I had restaurants and nightclubs in Israel and in Romania, and I got into the casino business and went everywhere. Like, I've done it all.
But now
Are you serious?
Invented products, I hold my own patents. I've invented the #1 mask in the world. I have a medical
mask.
tech
What do you
company.
mean?
Like a face mask with a purifier on it to kill any virus coming in and out.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
walk into a place, see a group of guys, go up to one of the guys, smack him in the head. The other boys go, hey bro, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? Relax, we called the police. What do you mean relax? Everybody gets beat up, everybody gets knocked the out, everybody's going to sleep. Once everybody's asleep, then I ask what happens. My
Made up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened.
brother, someone with him? It's my boy, someone with him? There's no way. I'm not gonna stop. I trained martial arts my whole life. I know how to fight very, very well. I've taken on not one, not two guys. I fought 30 guys at the same time, and
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
and they couldn't take me out.
You fought 30 guys.
30 guys at the same time. They got to the point that they said, okay, you mother, we're done with you. You don't want to stop. I have this switch. You better kill me.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
It's almost like I took PCP. But what goes on here is my thought that makes me not want to stop. It's my dad that I have here telling me you're nothing. So when I wake up at 3 a.m. to go for a run, when I'm
No. What the fuck are those? Zero training. Zero
when
training.
I'm taking a swim in a cold bath, all I have here is my father says, I was never going to be anything. So when I fight, no matter what fight it is, you have to kill me to make me stop.
Ready your breakfast and eat hearty. But tonight, we dine in hell!
17, he threw me out on the street, and I was living at Hazelton Park under a tree. That was my spot. And it's crazy because I took my wife to actually see where I used to sleep. And I used to take showers at 24 Hour Fitness. I was working with the Mafia. And
You liar!
eventually at the age of 18, I went to jail. I've done a lot of things, and I've been to jail like 8 times. At that time, they thought I murdered some guys, and I didn't. And
I'm a liar. I love to lie. I don't know why. I wish I could stop. I can't. I think I'm sick. It's a disease. I don't even tell good lies. I tell a bunch of dumbass lies on a regular basis.
And then eventually they let me out. But then when I got out, I said, I'm never coming back here. This is not for me. So I kind of ghosted the world, started inventing stuff, exited out. I have 2 other friends who are with me, and we did extremely well.
I could do a lot of things that other people can't do. I go a lot of places that other people can't do. So, for example, I speak English like an American, so I could go places people don't know that I'm Israeli. You know what I mean? They won't really be on to me.
Kinda. But like if you're American, I can tell that you're also something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
I can tell that you speak another language. Let's just say that.
I speak 5 languages.
But you speak great English, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is when you get these dumbasses that make fun of people's accents, I always look at them and be like, dude, you're making fun of a dude that speaks multiple languages, and that's where the accent comes from.
Right.
You're making fun of somebody that speaks multiple languages. Who's the dumbass?
I speak 5 languages. I speak Hebrew,
fluently,
English, Russian, and Spanish, and one more that I can't speak about.
Stop fucking lying.
I used to work in counterterrorism for over a decade. Remember that? When we talked?
A long time ago?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. When we talked,
He said, fuck no.
we talked a year and a half ago. I told you I worked in counterterrorism for over a decade. So for me, I wasn't allowed to be even on social media or any of these things. And even today, I'm not allowed to even speak about what unit I was in, things like that, for the next 5 years.
First, you lied, right? Then you lied about lying, okay? Then you lied about lying about lying, okay? So before you lie about lying about lying about lying about lying, stop lying.
I can't share it with anybody, but
there's a lot of people out there that would say, now that's where I'm calling bullshit.
That's fine. Nobody cares.
And
I don't
it's
care.
convenient that you can't talk about it, so no one can verify.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's units that are called invisible units.
I'm not doubting you. I always give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't.
He is
But if I were to
absolutely
question
doubting
it, I would say, well, wait a minute. At 17, you were homeless. At 18,
Right.
19, you were cleaning carpets. Then you got into
I got out of
telemarketing. Then you went, then you started doing real estate. And you started investing here and there. And that was only 10 years ago. So when was the counterterrorism?
Yeah.
And who is it for? The Israeli army?
Well, it's Israel and the United States.
You were literally too stupid to insult.
You have experience in counterterrorism?
For about a decade. So I shared it multiple times. In Israel, most of the people that are in the military, they work in counterterrorism. They fight terrorists. But when you are somebody who is born in a different country, you now have multiple passports, it is better to hire you. They came to me and asked me to work with them. They look for people. You don't come and look for them. For the unit that I worked in, it's called a clear unit. Clear means that there's no name, you don't know anything, you don't know anybody. This unit does not exist. That's why it's called a clear unit. You work directly with people that nobody's ever heard of. And all you do is you go on missions. You get trained for almost a year straight, and you get trained worldwide. That's why I've been to over 80 countries. And then after that, whenever there is a problem, if there's a terrorist right now in France, I have to go catch him in France. I was almost killed multiple times, ready to have my head chopped off. So a lot of people at home will look at it and say that's bullshit.
I eat green berets for breakfast.
It's bullshit. It's because all the social media is bullshit.
In Mexico, smuggled her into the US so she could have me all by herself.
Wow.
When she arrived here, the people who organized this was my uncles. The problem was that we didn't know about was that they were working with Pablo Escobar. And there was an issue where one of the brothers got a little bit too carried away and wanted to keep the money for himself. I don't know if you know much about Pablo.
What a fucking bitch, bruh. Honestly.
So my uncle then got caught by Pablo and he shot him. They didn't just shoot him. They kidnapped one brother and then the other brother they were looking for. And until they found the second brother that they wanted, they knew that he stole. They kept the other brother. But then they found the second brother who they wanted. He pulled up to the house. He was going to get all the rest of his stuff. He was going to flee to Israel. And they came with automatics and they blasted him like 2,000 bullets.
I knew you was lying. I knew you was lying, man.
Wow.
So my mom went and she went to identify the body with cousins and stuff. And there was no body. It was just pieces of meat all over the car. So we went back to Israel. And another uncle who was a big gangster in Israel. And he was working with another uncle of mine who doesn't even know that I exist, who got like 50 years in prison now. The biggest gangster in Israel of all time. The Pablo Escobar of Israel.
It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened.
Wow.
If he says tomorrow in the prisons nobody eats, nobody's eating. Everybody's fasting. For as long as he says.
Lying so much.
Wow.
That's how powerful he is in the prisons. And everywhere. Everybody look at him, he's an idol. Like he can't be killed. He's very, very famous in Israel. The most famous person.
Now you can tell even the hosts of these shows don't believe the stories. They want to laugh. You can see it in their face, but they just entertain this guy for some reason. I guess to get views. But this is just scratching the surface of Ben Azoulay. If you go to John Bravo's channel and you go to Wise Nuts podcast, you'll see a lot more. There's crazy accusations about this guy going on. I'm not going to talk about that because he's trying to sue people. But this motherfucker is one of the biggest liars you will ever see on the internet. But I appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.